Hello my friends, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models, and today we have another kit review. This monster of a box in 1/48 scale is the Eduard MiG-19 Limited Edition. New tooled for 2020, or not new tooled but new release for 2020. The actual kit is originally from a trumpeter kit inside of the MiG-19. Let's see what we get in this giant box. On this side of the box, I'm greeted with some of the marking options. This one here is from Egypt. These ones here are from Czechoslovakia. This is a Russian one. This one's a Iraqi one. Iraqi. The kit number for this is 11141. Like I say, this is what you consist of. MiG-19 PM in Slovakian markings, Iraqi, Egypt. Trumpeter plastic, 8 decal options, colour photo etch and printed masks, Eduard resin, wheels and guns, which is what you see here, which is the wheels and guns. And then you got the same in a different language. So it's a top opening box, very large. One thing, you get a large box, but loads of space. They could have made a little bit smaller box, but that's just being picky. Okay folks, this is your worksheet. Here's history on the MiG-19 if you wish to read it, pause the video. So we get a nice booklet this time, quite thick, quite a few pages. Again, nice print, photo, more history on the MiG-19. I think this is pretty much the same as what's on the front, if I'm not mistaken. But again, if you wish to read the video, pause the video. The Sprue Map, everything here comes in the kit. Your colours are done by Mr. Hobby range. So you are looking for blue, silver, flat white, black, flat red, bright green, red brown, natural grey, tire black, grey, blush or brush grey, whatever that dot type is, and a dark iron and super fine silver. So your first step, working up the cockpit section, front nose. This part looks like the wheel well, if I'm not mistaken. This piece goes into here. This is for variant F and H, and variant A and E options is slightly different nose here, and the internals are slightly different. This is more triangle, so pick what marking option you want to do. So for instance, if I was going to do this variant G, actually I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. So you probably skip them if you're doing G. I don't know what they actually are, but nonetheless you got F and H only cockpit, and A and E cockpit. Again, there's slight differences in the instrument panels, so again just be wary of what one you're actually doing. I find if you're going to pick an option, then go around the highlight and mark off the ones. Section C. We have some radio equipment by the looks of things, which is all here. These look like the foot pedals for the aircraft. This is part of the dash and whatever, flight stick. This is the sidewall of the cockpit, so you've got some dials and stuff. Again, this is for F and H. This is for A and E only, so there is slight differences within the cockpits. All the red segments are parts you need to remove if you're going to replace them with photo etch. And the blue, I think, is for plastic parts to be added to. So up here we have some more cockpit areas, side walls. So again, this is for F and H, this is for A and E. Again, there's slight differences within the cockpit walls. Now we're going on to the actual cockpit assembly. F and H and A and E. Again, there's slight differences. This is the front nose and your cockpit assembly, F and H. This is your gun assembly ports. Once you build it up, you can sandwich the two halves together. You do get two fuselage halves, two types, because there is differences. Again, you're working on F and H only segments here. This is the upper plates. This one here now is for if you're doing A and E only, so this is the front nose and cockpit. Again, sandwich it all together. The lower floor is slightly different. This one can consist of the cannons. The landing gear assembly for the front wheel. There is a tricycle landing gear on this aircraft. Flaps and doors going in. I would leave all this to the last, the doors and stuff. Wing assembly. Again, pretty much quite simple, but you've got some slight cutouts for A and E only, and these variants have got different doors. So again, just be careful which one you're doing. So this is left and right wings. Your tail assembly looks pretty straightforward, and then you've got your two wings and your engine parts, which is here. So it should be no problem. That's all straightforward. There's no differences. Fuel tanks, if you wish to do them, there's no difference in fuel tanks. Landing gear and wheel assembly, again, that's just straightforward with resin wheels. We have got slight differences here with adding cannons. You've got two types of cannons, and one variant has no cannons, and then A and E has no cannons. D and E has this type of cannon, and A, hang on a minute, it doesn't make sense. Sorry, A and E need to cut away, and then D and E has this cannon. A, B and C has this type of cannon. It can be quite confusing. You really have to go through the instructions, and like I keep mentioning, just be really careful. Looks like fuel probes and pitot tubes and stuff, and landing gear. Again, I'd leave that to the end. Drop tanks I'd leave to the end. You can build it up, but just add all these segments to the end. Now you're working on your cockpit seat, which is a strange way of doing it. So you have your cockpit backrest seat, the actual rail for the ejector seat, you pull handle, you'd be replaced with photo etch. Cushion going in, your photo etch seat belts, pretty simple. The inside of the canopy, there's two types. So you've got some hatches and levers for locking the canopy down. This is what looks like the inside of the cockpit, just behind the pilot, this segment here, which sits inside the canopy. Front part of the canopy, you've got your gun sight, Down the side of the canopy you've got these extra support rails, dropping all your parts in, your glass, your seat, your canopy. I'm not sure if you can have it open, I imagine you can. The back of the aircraft, there's some slight difference in parts. You've got weapons. These are RS2U missiles, and these are RS2US missiles. Probably Russian weapons of some sort. I'm not too familiar with this. You've got your weapon loadout, so you've got fuel tanks on the outside, and then the inner and stuff. You can have whatever missiles you'll be carrying if you wish to add them. You've got your mask layout, which is basic, very simple. On here they're asking for the outer edge of your canopy to be painted in this rubber colour. So I'm not quite sure how you're going to do that. I imagine you mask it off of this. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. So why do you get two? Is there two type of canopy as well? Because this one hasn't got the red bit and this one has, so there must be two types of canopy as well of some sort. Mask for your wheels. Your first colour option is all silver with the little bit of red, which is pretty cool. So it's going to be, it is down to actually being a silver aircraft. It's not natural metal finish, it's just actually silver. We have this one here again. This is a bit more vibrant in more red going across the spine and nose. Pretty much again, it's all silver. This one has the red wingtips. We have our Iraqi one, or Iraqi 1963. This one again is all silver, quite boring. This one is pretty cool, I think, in camouflage. This is Egypt 1965. So they're asking for silver here by the exhaust, and then the rest of the aircraft is light grey and a blue grey colour camouflage. And then we have this one again. This one's all silver with the red accent panels and tips with the blue nose. Again, this one is pretty much the same as this one, with just blue nose without the red accents. These aircraft in the 1970s, this one. We have the Russian one, because it is a Russian aircraft at the end of the day, 1960s. Typical silver and the Russian green. This would be red 31 as known as. You have your stencil data, is optional of how much you want to do. And then we have this optional, this data is for the MiG-19 PM version, and this stencil data is for the MiG-19S. So there is slight variances. Like I say, keep your eye out for what you're doing, because it can be a little bit complicated sometimes, so just be careful. So in this bag we have the resin parts. So there you go, there's the resin wheels, nicely detailed, they look okay. The typical Eduard resin, nothing more of that. We have this slight different colour in resin for the cannons, and they are kind of hollowed out. You might want to drill them out a little bit more, but you just have to be careful you don't break them. Typical laser cut Eduard masks. like them or not. You get your brass photo etch for access panels and detail parts, and your typical coloured photo etch for the cockpit and seat belts. Unfortunately, there's only one option of aircraft you can build out of this kit, even though they give you the 2 options, but you can only build the one. And we get this nice sheet of decals. This will be the 2020 decals, the new ones that everyone keeps not complaining about. They're just, I don't know, they're unsure because a lot of people have started to have problems with them, and something to do with the carrier film. I'm yet to discover that. Something to do with the carrier film bit on top or something, or but they seem all nice and crisp and vibrant in colour. But this segment goes on the side of the aircraft. I probably would paint that on if I was going to do that. I wouldn't use the decal. And you've got your stencil data. They seem okay, but until I've actually worked with them myself, I can't really say. But people are saying there is issues with the Eduard decals at the moment. So in this giant bag is the actual kit. This is, like I say, this is kit from Trumpeter. I've tried to look at scale mates to see when this kit was released. I think this was back in the 2000s era. Like early 2000s. You've got a bag within a bag. We work our way down so we can have our clear parts. This is a typical Trumpeter. They used foam to protect the clear. So there's no problems with this clear apart from the seam line down the middle of the canopy. You're going to have to take care of that, buff it out. But you've got instrument panel parts. We have lights, gun sight, which is here. So everything seems alright. The front part seems pretty cool. So first segment in this bag consists of 1/2 of fuselage, which so we have this large sprue or fuselage. Pretty good detail, panel lines, a couple of rivets here and there. It's all recessed, so it seems okay. I've never built this kit when it was Trumpeters, so I can't say for sure how good this is and how accurate it is. I imagine it must be pretty good because Eduard generally don't pick crap as a Rebox in. They do generally pick some of the better kits out there and the better version, shall we say, of that aircraft. So this doesn't seem too bad. You have the front nose. We have this lower floor section. There's part of the cockpit. There's part of the ejector seat. This is part of the side rails. If you're not going to do the photo etch option, this is what you get for the kit parts. But if you're using photo etch, you'll be sanding this off anyway to replace it. It doesn't seem too bad. Ejector pins on the inside, so hopefully they should be not visible, so it should be okay. We get this one here, which is the upper stabilizer, is it, or rudder type thing, wing, vertical stabilizer, I think they call it. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Details again. It seems okay. Recessed panel lines, everything seems alright. Again, ejector pins on the inside, should be no problem. Alright, there you go. My answer to the kit was 2002, early 2000, like I thought. This segment here is the other half of the fuselage. There is slight differences. I'm not going to compare. You can do that. I'm not going to. But again, detail looks just as good as before. So we have this segment here, which is part of the front nose, lower floor segment. The nose on this one is slightly larger than the previous one, slightly longer. Is the other half of the front nose. Fuselage half again, detail looks pretty good. So imagine this is where the air brake goes. Again, the cockpit detail, again if you're using photo etch you'd be taking this off anyway. Cockpit floor, part of your ejector seat. The ejection rail. And here is the upper wing again. Detail looks pretty much the same, but there is some slight differences. There is a little bit of a blurriness, shall we say. That's actually mold release agent on the kit. So we have this part here. There must be some fragile parts in this piece because you've got extra foam. That's the reason why we've got extra foam, because there's pointed part at the back of the aircraft where the exhausts are. It is quite sharp as well, so just be careful. Here is part of the intakes, the tubes. You have got, should be ends to go on them. There must be another sprue somewhere. We have all fine detail parts. These are the air brakes, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This is the front wheel. We've got the resin replacement anyway, but they are two-piece if you're using kit parts. Main wheels don't look too bad, but again, don't need them. We have resin. This looks like the lower floor section again. Well, these could be the air brakes as well. Landing gear doesn't look too bad. So pretty nice. Just going to have to attach this foam back on there again quickly. In this bag we have wings. So we have lower and upper wing sections and flaps and ailerons. Again, detail is what we expect from a trumpeter these days. It's pretty good, I think. I like trumpeter kits, I have no problem with them. Detail on the flaps, leading edges. This is the lower wing section for the wheel bay as well, wheel well cut out. Flaps, pretty basic. Again, same amount of detail as before, just reversed. Everything seems alright to me. I haven't, like I mentioned before, I haven't actually built this kit, so I can't say. But what I see looks pretty good. There isn't much flash neither. There isn't really much burring on parts. Everything seems pretty good. There's the insert of the wheel well. It looks like a ejection pin on inside the wheel well, but it's actually not. It's just the way it is. And here's the other side. Nicely done. Here is the cushion for the ejector seat. We have wing segments, so this is the detail on it, pretty good. Drop tanks. If you're not using the resin cannons, you do get these for plastic parts. So these are slide molded, so I didn't think they were doing slide molded that early back in 2000s, but obviously clearly they was. I thought slide moulding was quite new, but I'm totally wrong on that. Again, same side, just reversed, so everything seems pretty good to me again. A couple of these ejector pins are a little bit raised on this side. You're going to have to take care of these before sandwiching your halves together, but it should be no problem anyway. Last sprue contains weapons, and looks like we get bombs on this, but it doesn't actually say that in the kit. So we have weapon pylons, rockets, fins and bombs, but the bombs are not needed because they wasn't mentioned. So we have part of the fin assembly. It could be a jig, but I'm not sure. We have the actual rockets itself. They look pretty cool. And then the fins, basic fins, nothing fancy. And then, like I say, we have these bombs, but they're not needed at all. Quite large shaped bombs. They're like mini nukes shape. These are quite large bombs as well. But I suppose you can use them if you wanted to, but you'd have to do your references. We have these pitot tubes things at the end. You have to be very careful to get these off because they'll be fragile. Everything seems alright. So there we are, my friends. Another kit from Eduard, 1/48 scale, MiG-19 Limited Edition. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.